Good afternoon, everybody. After completing the first language acquisition and the learning outcomes of maths, now we are entering at the second language learning outcomes.
Presentation. কম্পিউটারে তো করার অনেক চেষ্টা করা বক্সটা রাইট না সেটার অডিও আমাকে
First stage, in the very first stage, we have two steps, that is listening and speaking. And the second part, there would be reading and writing. Now, for the oral language development, we have to based on our listening and speaking skills. As this is a foreign language, there have some inertia in all of us. If we overcome this inertia properly, then we can easily convert the students' actual knowledge to the conceptual knowledge throughout the procedural knowledge. That is, as much as English approaches we can provide to our children, they can do more and more practice according to us. But at first, we have to decide that we must provide more and more English approaches in the classroom situation. Now, the first learning outcome. First learning outcome is greet and respond to greetings. If we are able to inform them about these greetings, not only about the school timing, but also throughout the day, then what happens, and to tell them that they would practice them in their home or their or when they when they will be their friends or the surroundings. Like good morning or good afternoon, we can practice in our school. But good evening and good night, that would not be possible to practice in our school. But we can make them inform that whenever they will be at home at the evening, if anyone who are meeting newly, then he or she can greet good evening. And before going to bed, they can greet with good night. But one thing there to be noticed, that they would not get enough support from their surroundings. So that lacking we have to fulfill in our school, because that environment, that surrounding support, they are not getting, so they may be deprived or discouraged. So we have to make them encouraged properly. And these are the greetings that we can easily practice to our PP class. That is, welcome, goodbye, thank you, pleasure, sorry, excuse me, please, and may I, can I. One thing we can tell, that may I drink water. What happens, that they are very familiar to their English, to their Bengali language. They used to say these greetings with the English, they use the Bengali also. But whenever they do this, they are telling that may I go to toilet, ma'am, bathroom jabo, ma'am. So then we will not discourage them, we will encourage them. You are right, but you have to tell only may I go to toilet, ma'am. So that is up to me, or up to us, how much we can take them to their oral language development or communicative English. Next, our next learning outcome is to follow the simple instructions. This is the very important part, because whenever they are coming from home to school, they are coming coming into a different environment. So in this different environment, whenever we are giving them some instructions in mother language, they can follow. But whenever we are telling them in English language, then there would be some problem. So whenever we are using these instructions in English, we have to use proper gestures and postures to scaffold them to understand the meaning of the doing words. And also one thing we can do at the very starting of our academic session, we can prepare doing word pool like you can see here. As it is prepared at the preliminary or predetermined way, as otherwise whenever we are using this in the classroom, there would be the possibility of distraction. So we must not be distracted as they are only 5+ age, and if we are distracted, then they will also distracted. They can achieve the proper knowledge of language acquisition. So it will be predetermined the list, and we must know that how far we will introduce with them. At the very preliminary stage, we will use the one word, that is come, only come. And later, when they are familiar with understand the instruction come or go, then we will give the instructions later expanding form, that is you come here, you please you go there. At the very preliminary stage, we can say only sit by moving our hand, only sit. And when they are able to understand that what is the meaning of sit, then we can say that please sit down on the bench. And ultimately, after practicing this more and more, they will be able to understand the instructions and can follow this properly. The next learning outcome, that is sing songs and rhymes with actions. This is the very important part of our pre-primary curriculum because they are very small. So the enjoyment or the joyful learning is very necessary for them. So whenever we are introducing these rhymes, we must be concerned about that these rhymes will be introduced with proper actions, proper pronunciation, and proper gestures, and sometimes proper tunes. If we can able to do that, then they will follow us joyfully. Otherwise, they will get bored because all the meaning of the words that used in the rhymes, they are not familiar with that. In this case also, we will take some particular themes, that our full PP learning outcome is dependent on themes already that have told. That is school. Whenever we are saying that teddy bear goes to school, from this sentence we can pick up the school and we can enrich our children about the schools and their equipments or the environment he or she can get there. Likely the classroom, home, body parts, flower, fruits, vegetables, animals and their sounds, elements of environment, alphabet and phonic sounds, and number rhymes. Here you can get some rhymes from the BIHAN. The page number is also given there. And rather than that, we all know many rhymes beyond this BIHAN that will be more helpful to use it in our classroom. The last two topics, points, that is alphabet and phonic sounds. Very important for us, because from this stage, later we will gradually skip into our second part, that is reading. So whenever we are using the alphabet, we must be aware of the phonic sound, and we must introduce the phonic sounds with the alphabets accordingly, following the rhymes, and later we will see that activities. And in case of number rhymes, in case of number rhymes, whenever we are introducing the number concept, not only introduce the numbers, but also we make to able to learn how to count. Later, when we'll describe our activity, we will show there how this learning procedure can be introduced. Sorry. The next learning outcome is telephone. Identifies and names of familiar objects from immediate environment, colors, shapes, body parts, clock, doors, etc. And the expresses emotions through verbal and non-verbal modes, gestures, and drawings. Here also we have to prepare two word pools. One is naming word pool, and other two word pools. One is naming word pool and other will be describing word pool. Here also we will predetermine that how far we can introduce in our classroom. Otherwise, whenever we are without building up the instructional design or without taking the plans preliminary stage, whenever the classroom is going on, then that can be destructive. So here also, whenever we are building the naming words, we here also take some themes, that is shapes, circle, triangle, etc. In body parts, there are two things: sense organs, eyes, nose, ears, tongue, skin, and the other organs, hand, leg, neck, finger, toes, etc. The objects like house, heart, tree, pen, pencil, book, chair, table, chalk, duster. Whenever we are introducing these objects, then we can provide them with the picture cards or the blocks. As very recently we have received the TLM grant, we all know, we can use them here to get the scaffold, to give the scaffold to our children. And in case of places, home, school, playground, market, railway station, hospital, post office, and zoo, already in school we have some picture cards. We have that have provided from Somagra Shikha Mission to our schools. We can use them. If is not there, we can prepare them, or if that is not also possible, we can make them buy from the market. Now the fruits: mango, banana, apple, guava, jackfruit, watermelon, etc. Flowers: sunflower, rose, lotus, lily, china rose, etc. Vegetables: potato, onion, chili, cabbage, cauliflower, etc. Now the days of the week: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Whenever we are using this theme to them, the days of the week, then we can use the calendar here, and some TLMs we can prepare to support them. Accordingly, the months January, February, March, etc., and the other objects. Now the describing words. In the describing words, whenever we are introducing the colors, already they are coming by knowing that the colors in Bengal, that is red is lal. They know lal. Now we will convert that lal into red. That is the learning outcome of our English language. As the whole curriculum is going on integrated way, so the Bengali and English will be implemented simultaneously. And then the name of the comparison words like tall, shorts, and then the name of the expressions. Here there would be some problem that how we express the expressions. Here that will also show you after this session, that how we can show the expressions to them. And at last, that is the rhyming words. This rhyming, whenever we are preparing this word pool with rhyming words, we must be concerned about the sequence of the vowels. That is cat, bat, mat. Here we are using the A. And after this series, completing this series, we will introduce the other rhyming words where their A will be at the different sequence. And after completing that, the A sequence properly, then only we can convert the E sequence, that is pen, ten, den, and then tin, tin, tin. It is not necessary, but each and every sequence they have to learn. But as far as they can do, we make them to do that. Now that is the another important part, that is introducing himself or herself. Whenever a child introduce himself or herself, uh, what happened to them? Now, they get hesitated. In also Bengali, if we ask what is your name, 5+ student, PP students generally don't want to give the answers except some exceptional cases. So here we can provide some WH questions. That is, what is your name? Where do you live in? Which clothes do you read in? What is your father's and mother's name or mother's name? How old are you? Likely those. And the very preliminary stage, we must expect the answers only in one word. That is, what is your name? They will tell Robi, only Robi. But we have to convert this factual knowledge into the conceptual knowledge whenever they will able to speak or tell the answer in a complete sentence. That is, whenever we are asking, what is your name? They can able to tell that my name is Robi Roy. So then this learning outcome is fulfilled, that he or she can introduce himself or herself properly. So after practicing this, we can also here introduce the be verbs in this section. But not only saying that these are the be verbs, am is are the be verbs, not only that. We can only say that I am a girl. I am a girl. You are a boy. He is a boy. She is a girl. It is a pen. Whenever we are telling this, it is not necessary to the idea that I is the subject, am is the be verb, and there is the boy is the object. Not that, but only they are practicing to say some statements their own. That is, I am boy, I am a boy. And whenever they will able to these statements, then their oral language development will be gradually developed very fluent. And whenever we are introducing these be verbs, if possible, not compulsory, but if possible, we can introduce the negative patterns also, but not saying that these are the negative sentences. Not that. Only we are putting a not in between the sentences which we have already make them know. I am a girl. He or she know that I am a girl. We will put only a not there. I am not a boy. You are not a girl. He or she not your friend. It is not a pen. Whenever they able to learn this not, they will know how to say no. Because in oral language development or communicative English, these negative patterns are also very necessary to them. Now this is the end of our first part, that is phonetic awareness, that alphabets with phonic sounds used to increase the knowledge of vocabulary. With this, the comprehensions they will able to say the by introducing themselves, whatever we are describing in our previous section. And then come the fluency. And whenever the fluency comes, what happens? Now then we can provide the print rich environment to them. Then we could convert them to the book exposure. That is our next step, that is reading. As far we go through that, these all were the oral language development. Now we are entering a zone that is very important, that is reading. In this step, we have to give exposure more and more about recognizing the letters and their corresponding sounds. Whenever we are using these cards, here you can see in the slide that we have taken the cards where the capital and smalls both are introducing simultaneously. There have a reason to introduce them together, as they could later, whenever we will convert them at the exposure of book, then they can easily identify or recognize the capital letters and small letters properly. And after practicing this, whenever they are able to identify some familiar letters, then we can convert them into the activities like we can provide them the word cards with capital letters and the small letters, and give it to them, and to say which one is written in capital letter and which one is the small letter. They can identify this. And one more activity is very familiar with them, that is we can provide them some blocks or some cards of capital and small by mixing them, and we can tell them that you have to pick up the small e. Suppose we have to pick up the small e and come to me. If they can able to do rightly, then that is it is proved that their learning of identification or recognition of the letters has completed. And one more thing, here you can see in the slide that we have taken the card, that is there are some lines. We can easily take the cards. They have not the lines, only the alphabets. But we have chosen these because from the very beginning, whenever they recognizes the letters, they will able to know at the next step, when we convert them to writing, how far they will use the space when they are going to write. So these are the preparation of the writing level. That is why we have chosen the cards where the lines are drawn. Sorry. This is the another important part, that is storytelling. Sometimes we think that the children are very small, they can't tell the story in English. How it would be possible? It is possible if we convert the picture reading familiar with them. At first, at their vernacular, they will tell, and then we gradually we will convert them into English. As whenever we are taking up the stories, we must be very concerned that the story must be short and simple. When that would be short and simple, then what happened from this story, we have to choose very important 4 to 6 sequences. Those are the very important sequence. Then we can prepare the picture card. If it is not possible to draw, then we can take the pictures from the books also. But we have to prepare these cards and provide them to our children. At first, they will try to say that in their vernacular language or mother tongue. Whenever they are able to explain, then tell the story in mother tongue, then we will gradually convert them in English. But it will happen that some of the students, they cannot be able to tell the story in mother tongue also. But in that cases also, we can give our English exposure by indicating the picture elements, like what is this? This is a sun. Who is this? This is a crow. This type of conversation, when will we use? Then gradually, the people who can not able to telling the story properly, gradually he or she will move at them. And one thing we will concentrate with that we are choosing out the stories that there must be the values, as the holistic development of a child is required, we know. So if there would be the moral of the story, then easily through this story the moral they will be equipped with this moral, and their value education can occur. This is the last part, that is writing. Here we have to move our children from scribbles to some few familiar letters. And the very preliminary stage, we will not provide them to, we will not give them to write. We will make practice them some activities, like we can prepare the cards where the alphabets are written in the sandpapers, and they will move their fingertips tips on them, and they can able to know how the A is seen and how the B is seen. After acquisition of this knowledge, then we can move them at the writing. Whenever we moving them into the writing, at first we have we will provide them some lines, only the standing lines, sloping lines, clipping lines, this type of lines. When they are becoming familiar with that, then we can describe that how two or three lines make a letter, like two sloping lines and one slipping line make the A. And by telling that, we are providing them the dots of A. And the very preliminary stage, the dots will be more, and gradually they are able to write. We will reduce the scaffolds of dot, and at the end we will we will reduce the dots, and they whenever they can able to learn the letters. And with that, as again it is the integrated learning, from the letter writing, we will also practice the number writing. As the in mathematic learning outcome, they are already practicing this, so we can also here implement this. All these are the some exemplary ideas. It is not that you have all to do this. We are sharing some ideas, and you are very resourceful. Hope you will implement all these ideas more resourcefully in your classrooms. Thank you. Here we can provide some activities. We will like to show you. Sharing stop করবো? Now, as we have told to you that whenever we are introducing the rhymes in our classroom, there must be gestures and posture. As in the classroom, if we tell that teddy bear, turn around, they will not interested to do that. But whenever we tell that teddy bear, turn around, teddy bear, turn around. Teddy bear, touch the ground. Teddy bear, touch the ground. Lightly. And one important thing that is we have introduced in the alphabets. Whenever we are introducing the alphabets in our classroom, we can provide some cards. As with that, we have to pronounce the phonetic sounds, that is likely A for apple,
Ma'am, time is over.
B for
Please
ball,
program.
Likely all the letters we can find, you can find the all these phonetic rhymes in the net or in books. You can continue in your classrooms. And we have already told that the describing words, the expressions, how we can show the expressions. In the all of us are now very familiar with the smartphones and the emojis, and these emojis we can express to the children to describe the expression properly. They also are very familiar with these expressions. They know these are the emojis, and from these we can able to make them that he is happy, she or he is sleeping, so and this somebody is angry. So these we can also build them, different ways and use them and can able to they can handle these. One important part that we have told that before going to the writing session, we have to make the scribblings. From the TLM grant, we can write this like one sloping line, one sloping line, and one slipping line. That consists the A. One sloping line, and one slipping line, that is A. Likely, whenever we are practicing these, then they are familiar to move the hands fluently, then we'll convert in the writing. Here are some TLMs. We can see that these are the blocks that we can move and put them at the proper places. Here are the alphabets. We can go that the word formation. Whenever we are introducing the oral language development or word construction, then this is a dog and D and G is there, and we are taking the O there, and it is forming the dog. So whenever also we can using the alphabet rhymes, D for duck, da da da, we can also use this TLM. Thank you.